Hello everyone, Prince Rich with philosophyofdreams.com. So in this video I want to talk about, and this is actually at the request of one of our followers named Lisa, I want to talk about how to take control of a bad dream or a nightmare. In the message that she sent me via Facebook, she basically asked, I'd like to know if I'm having a bad dream or having like a nightmare. She's basically saying that when she's in this dream, the dream is obviously unpleasant, but it won't end. She can't make it end, and so the dream just goes on being, whatever this bad dream or whatever this nightmare is until the dream is over. And she's basically had asked, could we do a video on some tips or tricks on how to overcome that? Now, there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is I don't personally know of any ways, not even with my own dreams, even with thousands of my own recorded dreams, I don't personally know of any ways that I have been able to physically end the dream while I was still in the dream. Usually whenever one of my dreams has ended, especially if it was a nightmare, I either died in the dream, which most all of you know that usually when you die in a dream, you always usually wake up. Or something happened in the dream that scared me really badly, that caused a physiological response. Like, so if you're in a dream, and you've probably noticed this before, you're in a dream where something scares you really bad, it scares you physiologically as well in the waking world, and so your heart rate rises and bodily fluids move faster and stuff like that, and so you actually wake up because something in the dream psychologically causes a physiological response. That is the only way that I know of that I've ever been able to wake up out of a bad dream. I've never been able to actually will myself out of a bad dream. I've definitely never tried to will myself out of a good dream, and definitely not out of a lucid dream. If anything, I've tried to will myself for that to prolong. But there is something you can do for dreams like this. So let's talk about that for a minute. The fix for this is to learn, if you're not already a lucid dreamer or somebody that knows how to lucid dream, or what we call the seasoned lucid dreamers, or somebody that lucid dreams naturally, the best fix for this is to become lucid in a dream. Because if you can become lucid in the dream or have that aha moment where you're like, oh my gosh, this isn't actually happening in waking reality, it's not real, it's just a dream, you can take control over that dream. You can use your mind to change the scenario or the actual landscape of the dream from something really unpleasant to something very pleasant, or you can, actually stand up to whatever this is in that dream. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of some bad dreams that I had, and then I became lucid during the dream and actually changed the whole forecast of the entire dream, turned it from what would have otherwise been a nightmare to basically a situation where I was in control. Because let's remember, what is a nightmare? A bad dream or a nightmare is always a dream where you are not in control. Because you have to remember, the dream is you. The dream is a mental creation or a mental projection of the inner contents of your own mind. So everything that you see in the dream is a projection of you, or a projection of unconscious contents. Everything from the ground to the sky to the stars to the buildings or to the grass around you to even the characters or monsters or animals in the dream that might be trying to cause you harm. They're all you. So once you realize that, oh, this is not waking life, this is a dream, and you become lucid, you can change anything in that dream to your will, to your advantage, or to your liking. So I'll tell you about two that I had, and then we'll go from there. I had this one dream, this was years ago, that I had documented in my dream journal, that I was in like this city. It was like an Asian city or something like that. This was actually around the time when I was playing a popular video game called Deus Ex Human Revolution. And for those of you who have played that game, you know that that game has a setting that takes place in, I believe it was Shanghai or something like that. So it looked like something that was like of the Orient or of like an Asian flavor, the way that the buildings looked and all that kind of stuff. And so when I was in this dream, the dream started off with me running away from like the Yakuza or something like that. They were running after me, trying to chase me with machine guns. For those of you who don't know, Yakuza is basically like it's like an Asian gang. It's kind of like a, you know, like a Crips or Bloods, like what we would have here, but it's like a gang over there that you would see in that part of the world. But they were chasing me, and they had like machine guns and stuff, and they were pretty much out to kill me. They finally caught up to me, and they actually shot me. And I was in the process of dying. I was actually laying there on the ground, bleeding out, and I knew I was dying in the dream. And at that point, I wasn't lucid. And then something triggered. I don't remember what in this particular dream, but something happened where I realized, oh my gosh, this isn't waking life. This is a dream. And I became lucid, and I actually stood up while I still had holes in me and while I was breathing, and I actually realized this is a dream, I can do whatever I want to do, and I spawned a machine gun. Like, I just spawned a machine gun and practically just, you know, pulled it like out of like my tail, and I went back after them and shot at a bunch of them, and they ran away, and then the dream ended. So it wasn't a nightmare anymore. It was a dream where I was in control. I gained control. So that's one example of a really good one that I had. Another one that I had, it was one that was more of a scary setting, like something that you would see out of a horror movie. And I was running through the forest, and there was like this man. It was weird. It was like he was like a Freddy Krueger thing, but not really. It was like he was like a hybrid between like a Swamp Thing and a Freddy Krueger, because he was like a monsterish, kind of like an unrecognizable thing, but he had like the claws and whatnot as well. And so he was chasing me through the forest, and at this point I don't realize it's a dream. Again, I'm completely not in control, so it's a nightmare, or a bad dream as we would call it, a dream that you're not in control of. And I'm running through the forest, running away from this thing, and then I finally realized this is a dream. And so I stopped running, and he caught up to me, and at the time when I stopped running, I had my back turned to him, and I turned around and realized this is a dream, I can do whatever I want to do, and I willed myself to think, I want to make myself bigger than him, and I just all of a sudden just grew up to be like this giant version of myself that was bigger than he was, like almost as tall as the trees, looking down on him. And I started chasing after him, and he was basically running away, and then I basically stomped him into the ground, and the dream ended. So, back to the original subject of the video. How do you end a dream that is a nightmare or a bad dream while you're still in it? I'm sure there's ways to do it, but in all my research, I've never came across a way, even in my own dream studies and in my own dream experiments with my own dreams and dream incubation, on how to do that. The best way that I know of is to learn how to lucid dream and learn how to become lucid. If you find that you're having a lot of bad dreams or a lot of nightmares that you're not in control of, come up with an affirmation or something like that. Before you go to bed each night, just say over and over and over, this is a dream, I'm in control. This is a dream, I'm in control. It may not work the first night, or may not work the first few nights or for a week, but after a while, if you keep doing that every night, even if it's only for like 5 minutes or a couple of minutes before you go to sleep, that is going to become subconsciously ingrained into your mind. And what you're going to see happens is one day you're going to be in a dream, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is a dream, I'm in control. You're going to become lucid, and at that point you're going to realize it's a lucid dream. Everything in here is my own creation. It's a projection of my own mind, and you can control it. You can do whatever you want to do. You can change the landscape with your mind at will, and things like that. So I hope this answers some of the questions that any of you have in regards of how to take control of a bad dream or a nightmare. I hope this answers Lisa's question, our follower who had requested that I do a video on something like this. And for any of you that have any more in-depth questions, or you need any more insights on this subject or your nightmares, feel free to comment on this video on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, and you can also always go to our website, philosophyofdreams.com, and you can message me directly with any questions you have, and I'm more than happy to help you. So again, Prince Rich with Philosophy of Dreams. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.